The uncomfortable truth about consistency: you don't suffer from a motivation issue. You suffer from broken agreements with yourself. Every time you tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," and then you don't, you quietly teach your mind not to rely on you. And when self-trust erodes, life starts to feel unstable. Today, I'm going to show you how to build consistency so solid that even on your worst days, you to come back. That is what Unbreakable really means. Let's begin with something that may feel uncomfortable. If you are like consistent when you feel inspired, then you are not consistent. You are simply entertained by your own potential. And no, that sounds sharp. But it's not an attack. It's freedom. Because the moment you see this clearly, you stop arguing with yourself every morning. You stop negotiating with your future. You stop letting your moods run your life. Right now, somewhere inside you, there's a promise you keep breaking. Not to your family, not to anyone else. And that's why it hurts differently. When you break a promise to Sumi Anil's excuses are easy traffic, stress, circumstances. But when you break a promise to yourself, you feel quietly, like a small fracture inside our chest that no one else notices. So let me ask you something simple. Don't answer quickly. When you say, "I'll start tomorrow," who are you really protecting? Your body or your ego? Because tomorrow is rarely a plan, it's a hiding place. And you already know this. Here's the truth. Consistency has nothing to do with motivation. It's not about time management. It's not about having the perfect routine that looks good on a screen. Consistency is about self-respect, and self-respect is not an emotion. It's a behavior. This is where most people get it wrong. They imagine consistency as doing something big. Every day, forever, always intense, always disciplined, always heroic. That fantasy is exactly why you keep burning out. Consistency is quiet, small, most boring. But it makes you unbreakable. Unbreakable doesn't mean you never fall. Unbreakable means you always return. You return without drama, without self-punishment, without shame. Your turn because that's who you are. To become that person, you must tamed something about your mind. Your mind is not designed to help you grow. It is designed to keep you safe. Safe from discomfort. Safe from certainty. Safe from the risk of trying and failing. So when you are about to do the thing that would improve life, exercise, study, build a skill, change a habit, your mind will not applaud you. It will whisper, "Not today. You deserve rest. You can do it later. You've had a hard week." The mind is clever. It doesn't say ruin your life. It says delay. And delay feels harmless. But delay is how futures get stolen. One soft excuse at a time. Listen carefully. Your issue is not lack of knowledge. Most people already know what to do. Your issue is lack of trusting yourself. And you don't trust yourself because you have accumulated too many broken promises. So how do you rebuild trust with yourself? Not with words, with evidence. Evidence is action. Even small action. Even messy action. Even action no one sees. Imagine a friend who calls you every morning and says, "I'll meet you at 6," and then never shows up. Again and again. Eventually, you stop believing them. Even if they cry. Even if they swear. Even if they make emotional speeches. Because trust is not built by intensity. It's built by reliability. Now look in the mirror. That friend is you. So stop trying to hype yourself into consistency. You don't need more hype. You need a smaller promise. One you can keep when your mood is low, because your mood will be low sometimes. Your energy will drop. Life will hit you. That's not an exception. That's the schedule. If your plan only works on good days, you don't have a plan. You have a wish. Here is the first shift. Stop asking, "How do I stay motivated?" Start asking, what is the minimum I will do no matter what? No matter what. When you're tired, when you're busy, when you feel empty, when the day is ugly. This minimum is not weakness. It's your anchor. It's the rope around your waist before you climb. Because the goal is not perfection. The goal is that you don't disappear. Let me tell you a short story. There was a man, always busy, always rushing, always saying he had no time. He wanted to be stronger, healthier, more present. He bought gear, watched videos, made plans, talked a lot. But he never stayed consistent, so he made one deal with himself. 5 minutes a day, not an hour, not a full workout, 5 minutes. On day 1, headed 5 minutes and stopped even though could do more. He stopped on purpose, because he wasn't training his body. He was training trust. Day 2, 5 minutes. Day 3, 5 minutes. After 2 weeks, something changed. Not excitement, not motivation, stability for the first time in years. He wasn't betraying himself. Some days became 10 minutes, some became 20. But even when life got loud, he still did 5. And 5 became his identity. I am the kind of person who keeps my word. Most people chase results. Unbreakable pill build identity. And identity is built with proof. Your ego will protest here. It will say, 5 minutes is nothing. Exactly. That's why it works. Your ego wants a performance, consistency, wants something repeatable. If you want to be unbreakable, learn Tolov what you can repeat. Here's another truth. You cannot build a disciplined life on emotional weather. Some days you wake up light, some days you've, some days empty. If your actions depend on your feelings, your life will look chaotic, up and down, on and off. So you must separate emotion from action, not by suppressing emotion, but be learning this sentence. I can feel this and still move. I can feel tired and still show up. I can feel doubtful and still act. I can feel bored and still repeat. I can feel fear and still practice courage. This is maturity. Now let's talk about the moment that breaks most people. It's not the hard day. It's the day after the hard day, because on the hard day, you understand? But the next day you think, I already missed, so it's ruined. And then you miss again. This is the trap. Missing is not the problem. The story you tell yourself after missing is, here is a rule that changes lives. Never miss twice. If you miss today, you return tomorrow. Small, simple, no drama. Because the fastest way to become unbreakable is not never fall. It's to shorten the gap between falling and returning. Most people stretch that gap with guilt, shame, and self-attack. Unbreakable pull, keep it short. I slipped. I'm back. Now let's go deeper. Some of you are not inconsistent because you're lazy. You're inconstant because you're overloaded, too many goals, too many promises, too many versions of yourself competing for attention. You cannot be consistent with the very thing. So you must choose. Choose the one habit that, if done daily, makes everything else easier. Sleep, movement, study, skill, prayer, meditation, order. Choose one. Not because other things don't matter, but because a scattered mind cannot build a strong life. Unbreakable people are simple. Simple is powerful. Stop building your life around big days. Monday, next month, after things calm down. That's not planning. That's avoidance wearing a calendar. The person you are becoming will note a tarf on a perfect day. They will arrive on a random, ordinary day when you chose not to quit. So ask yourself this. Do you want a life that looks good or a life that is strong? Because looking good comes from intensity. Being strong comes from consistency. Anyone can be intense for 3 days. Consistency is rare. and your actor is what remains when motivation leaves. Now, I'll leave you with this thought, because we will return to it later. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. It's not always the difficulty of the task. It's the friction around the task. Friction is the small resistance that takes the right action inconvenient. Shoes are far away. Phone is next toed. Junk food is in the house. Workstation is messy. You don't know what to do first. You have to get ready for too long. The task feels unclear. So you procrastinate, not because you don't care, because your environment is designed for your old habits. So if y'all want consistency, you must become a designer. Design your environment. So the good habit is the easiest habit. Put your shoes where you can see them. Make the first step obvious. Prepare the night before. Remove obstacles. Reduce a decision, because every decision costs energy, and if your consistency depends it. Daily willpower, you will lose willpower. Is a battery systems are AWOL, so build the wall? No, let me come back to that thought I left you. Don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. People live with hope systems. They hope. They will feel motivated. They hope thee will have time. I hope they will be in the mood. Hope is not a system. A system is when I finish brushing my teeth. I do 2 minutes of breathing. A system is when I emotional discipline, act even when you don't feel it. Come home. I change clothes immediately and walk. A system is before I open yaps. I write 1 paragraph. A system is after dinner. I clean for 7 minutes. Smell specific attached to something you already do. This is how you make consistency sutak. And automatic is the goal echoes. If it becomes automatic, it becomes unstoppable. Now let's talk about the hidden enemy. The hidden enemy is your self-image. Some of you have an identity that's a seam, not consistent. I'm lazy. I always quit. I can't stick to anything. And the very time you say that, you are not describing yourself. You are programming. Your SIF. Your words are not harmless. Your words are commands. So if you want to change your behavior, you must change your identity language, not with fake affirmations, with honest upgrades. Instead of I'm not consistent, you say, I'm becoming reliable. I'm practicing consistency. I'm the type of person who returns. I didn't quit twice. These are not fantasies. These are directions. Now I want to give you another monastery. A woman working long hours, taking care of family, always exhausted. She wanted to learn a skill. She had the talent, but she kept stopping. Every time she missed 2 days, she disappeared for a month. One evening, she said to herself, I keep failing. But then she did protect your attention. Why scrolling kills consistency? Something different. She made a rule. Even on the worst day, she would open the book or the course for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Not to learn everything, just to touch it. So the habit became touch through work. Some days, 2 minutes. Some days, 20. But the identity shifted from I start and stopped to I touch the work daily. After a month, she didn't feel like a different person. She felt like a person with roots, and roots are what hold wind storms. This is what consists you, roots. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. Where do you outbreak? Is it the morning? Is it after work? Is it at night? Is it when you're alone? Is it when someone disrespects you? Is it when you feel bored? Is it when you feel like nobody notices? Find the breaking point. Because if you name your pattern will name your life. Most people think they randomly lose consistency. No, they lose it in predictable places. So you must prepare for those places. You don't wait for temptation and then try to. Best strong, that is foolish. You prepare for. If night is your weak point, you set a boundary. If your phone is your weakness, you change where it sleeps. If boredom is your weakness, you plan era placement. If stress is your weakness, you create a release that doesn't destroy you. You train like a warrior trains, not when the battle comes before. Now, let's talk about a principle that will save you. You cannot hate yourself. Vague goals versus specific actions. Clarity creates action into consistency. You cannot shame yourself into change. Shame creates rebellion. Punishment creates hiding. So if your inner voice is harsh, you will eventually run away from your own life. Discipline must be firm, but it must also be clean. Clean means no drama, no cruelty. When you fail, you do not insult yourself. You observe what happened. What was the trigger? What system failed? What do I adjust? This issue, a strong person thinks. A weak person says, I'm hopeless. A strong person says, my approach was wrong. I adjust. Now, pattern interrupt. Listen, if you only love yourself when you are performing, you don't love yourself. You are using yourself, and a few are using yourself. You will eventually burn out. Become the kind of person who keeps promises out of respect, not out of fear. 'Cause fear is a weak fuel. Respect is steady. Now let's talk about what unbreakable actually means in daily life. Unbreakable is waking up. And even if the mind screams, you still do the smallest version of the work. Unbreakable is showing up when body is watching. Unbreakable is doing the right thing when you don't get airword immediately. Unbreakable is being loyal to your future because your future is watching you. Your future self is either being built, being betrayed every day, and you don't think about 10 winning the next 60 seconds, small battles, big change years from now. Think about tonight. When you lay down, will you feel peace or will you feel that quiet regret again? That regret is not to torture you. It is guidance. It is the soul saying you are meant for more integrity than this. Now I want to bring you to a very practical, real moment. You wake up, you don't feel like it. Your mind offers excuses. You look at clock, you think, I'll do it later. In that moment, what do? This is where people think they need motivation. No, you need a ritual. A ritual is a sequence that removes thinking because thinking is where excuses lie. So, you'll create a simple sequence. Stand up, drink water, wash face, put on shoes. Start timer, sit down, open notebook, write the first sentence, continue. The point is no debate, action first, emotion later, because here is a secret. A off-10th desire to do the work comes after you start, not before. So you don't wait to feel ready, you start to become ready. Now another truth. Consistency is not just doing the habit. Consistency is also stopping the habit that breaks you. Some of you keep trying to build a discipline on top of a lifestyle that drains you. Too much scrolling, too much late-night stimulation, too much sugar off the mind. Constant entertainment. How to recover fast without guilt or shame. Too many meaningless conversations. Too many open loops. You are tired, not because life is hard, but because your attention is leaking. So part of becoming consistent is guarding your attention. Attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your life goes. If you give your attention to everything, Yahweh will have nothing left for yourself. And then you wonder why you can't stay consistent. Of course you can't. You have nothing left. So unbreakable people learn a simple phrase. Not now. Not now to distractions. Not now to cheap dopamine. Not now to the impulse that feels good and costs you later. Not forever. Just not now. That is power. Now I promise a do. Human tone. So let me speak to you like someone sitting across from you. You are not weak. You are just trained. You have trained inconsistency. Every time you delay, you stray injury. Every time you quit, you strengthen quitting. But the opposite is also true. Every time you return, you strengthen returning. Every time you do the small habit, you strengthen reliability. So don't make this spiritual. Make it practical training. That's all. No, on the pattern interrupt. Do you know what consistency really is? It is grief, yes. Grief for the old you who escaped. Grief for the comfort that kept you small. Because when you become a consistent, you must let go of a part of you that loves excuses. Consistency equals self-respect, the deeper meaning, and that part will fight. It will throw in trumps. It will whisper, "This is too much. This is boring. This is pointless." Let it whisper. You do not need to argue. You keep moving. Now, let's deepen again. Many people fail consistency because their goals are too vague. Want to be better. I want target fit. I want to be successful. I want to change my life. Beautiful words, but vague words produce vague effort. So, make it specific. Not I'll work out more. I will walk for 10 minutes after lunch. Not I'll study. I will study one lesson at 7:30. Not I'll be disciplined. I will do my habit before my phone. Specific removes confusion. Confusion is the enemy of action. And here is another layer. Make it easy to start, hard to avoid. Easy to start means small entry point. Hard to avoid means you set it up, so the default is habit. For example, if you want to write, leave the document open. If you went to exercise, put the mat visible. If you want to eat clean, don't buy the junk. Don't rely on willpower. Rely on architecture now. I want to speak about pain because becoming unbreakable, calm, steady, reliable. Some of you stop being consistent when you experience discomfort. You feel the burn, you stop. You feel the boredom, you stop. You feel the loneliness, you stop. You'll feel the fear, you stop. So you must redefine discomfort. Discomfort is not a stop sign. Discomfort is a signal that you are doing something new. And new feels threatening to the nervous system, so your body resists. But if you keep showing up gently, consistently, your nervous system adapts them. What once felt hard becomes normal. This is how transformation happens. Not by heroic effort, by normalizing the right actions. Now, a final mini story short. A young man had a dream. He wanted to build something real, but heck up chasing perfect conditions. He waited for the perfect plan, the perfect time, the perfect mood. Years passed. One day he saw someone else less talented, less smart, achieving what he wanted, and the pain was sharp. Not Ulysses regret, because he realized that other person did not have more talent. They had more returns. They turned again, and again, and while Hugh was waiting to feel ready, the other person was becoming ready. So he changed on thing. He stopped asking, "Do I feel like it?" He started asking, "Do I doubt it?" I said. That question made him the daily return ritual simple, repeatable system, uncomfortable. Good discomfort, ishinist. And slowly his life became more restable. Not perfect, stable. And stability is the foundation for greatness. Now I will give you something very real to hold on to. When you feel yourself about to quit, do not think about the whole journey. Think about the next 60 seconds. Just 60 seconds. Can you do the next minute? Can you open the book? Can you put on the shoes? Can you breathe and sit? Can you write the next line? Reduceth battlefield. Win the minute, then win the next minute. This is how you become unbreakable. Not by fighting 10 years at once, by hammering the next moment. And here is a truth that will sting, but it will wake you up. Your life is not destroyed by big mistake. It is destroyed bismal daily betrayals. So your life is also rebuilt by small daily loyalties. Loyalty to your body, loyalty to your mind, loyalty to your future. Loyalty to your word. Now I want to return to the promise you keep breaking. Remember West started there. That promise is the center because consistency for yourself is not about the task. It is about who you will become when you keep the promise. When you keep your promise, you become someone you can rely on. And final reminder, keep your word to yourself. You can rely on yourself. Youbecome.com. Not because life is easy, but by Kosu are no longer at war with your own choices. That is peace, and peace is power. So today, don't try to become a new person. Become a rallyable person. Choose the smallest promise. Make it specific. Attach it to a daily moment. Remove friction. Protect your attention. Return quickly when you slip. Never miss twice. Do it with firmness, but do it clean. You only need to return to the next action you've promised yourself. The next breath, the next step, the next page, the next repetition, quietly. Steadily, like someone who finally decided that their word means